In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
I said it, and this sums it up well. Like you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. The lion's riding a bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree. So you just hope that people can be smart enough and have a tremendous amount of logic to just go and possibly do research.
Folks, it's time to dive into the never-ending drama between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart. So C recently made a pit stop on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay podcast, and let me tell you, he let it all hang out. This episode was almost 3 hours long, and Katt was on fire. He didn't hold back one bit, throwing shade at Steve Harvey, Michael Blackson, Rickey Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer. But you know, Katt couldn't resist taking a shot at Kevin Hart. He basically called him an industry plant and said he lied about how he got his start in the comedy game. These two have been going at it for years, trading punches online. And in interviews, it's like a never-ending soap opera of celebrity beef, all right. Let's get into the juicy history between Kevin Hart and Katt Williams. These two comedy heavyweights have been at it for nearly a decade, and it's time to spill the beans on their beef, from Katt's controversial comments all over the place to Kevin's measured comebacks. The comedy scene has been a battleground for their ongoing feuds. So picture this: Katt Williams wasn't holding anything back when he decided to throw some shade. He didn't just stop at Kevin Hart. He also took a jab at athletes like Shaquille O'Neal trying their hand at comedy. This feud was already sizzling back in August 2014.
I think that Shaq and Russell Simmons should get out of comedy and stay in their lane. They don't see us making a league of professional basketball players under 6 foot. So what qualifies these dudes because they got $100 million to come over in comedy and do Shaq's All-Star? Get out of here, you bum.
That's right.
Before I take the rest of you girls. Like you took Kevin Hart from me. I want my back. You underdig me?
It's like a never-ending saga of comedy clashes that's been keeping the entertainment world buzzing for years now. Let's rewind to February 2016 when things were heating up between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart during his conspiracy theory tour stop at Atlanta's Phillips Arena. Katt didn't hold back. He straight up called Kevin Hart a puppet, and this made headlines as reported by Vibe. Katt was adamant that he had earned his stripes in the comedy game and wasn't afraid to take a swipe at Hart. He even said Hart's a puppet that ain't his fault. Katt told people not to hate on a fellow black man out there hustling, even if he wasn't everyone's favorite flavor. He didn't stop there though. Katt compared himself to other black comedians and emphasized that just because some folks might think he's the best, it doesn't mean he's dissing the others. He gave an analogy saying it's like getting mad at Kermit the Frog when you should really be directing that anger at Jim Henson. Or it's like saying forget Donald Duck when it's really Walt Disney. You should be upset with Katt. Had a way with words, no doubt about it. I've already proven that if the best they got in comedy is Kevin Hart, don't you boo a black man working hard, baby. Even if that is a puppet, it's not his fault. We don't get mad just because I'm better than some black dudes doesn't mean I'm better than no black dudes. I'm saying if you want to be mad at Kermit the Frog, don't be mad at Kermit the Frog. Be mad at Jim Henson. Don't say F Donald Duck when you really mean F Walt Disney. Here's the lowdown on how Kevin Hart reacted to all of this. He didn't go full on attack mode, but he had a more subtle response on Instagram. He shared a pic from the 2016 Academy Awards where he was chilling with comedy heavyweights Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. In his post, he talked about how comedians should stick together and have each other's backs. He emphasized the shared grind it takes to reach the level of success that only a few comedians ever achieve. So, amidst all the drama, this was Kevin Hart's way of reminding everyone that comedians got to support each other even when there's some feud brewing in the background. Me and Dave Chappelle with our brother Chris Rock tonight at the Oscars. True professionals understand the importance of Sticking together and supporting one another. At the end of the day, we are comedians. And there aren't many that make it to the level that we have made it, but so many doors are open from the success of one company. Etienne, and when you see those doors open, you then have the opportunity to walk through them. It's about helping one another, not trying to tear each other down. The insecure ones will never understand that support and encouragement. Now let's take it back to 2016, when Katt Williams turned up. The heat in his never-ending feud with Kevin Hart. This time he took it to the next level, setting the stage for his conspiracy tour show in Philly. On March 5, Katt had a plan, and it was all about stirring up some drama right in Hart's hometown. He threw down a hefty challenge, daring the ride-along star to a $5 million bet. In his own words, he said, "I've seen your stuff on social media and I know what you do, but you do it for fun. If you're serious about it, here's the deal, Kevin.
See, I seen your stuff on social media, boy, I know what you do, but you do it for play. If you do it for real, here it is, Kevin. I got a show at your hometown in Philly. I'm gonna tape my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full-court basketball court, a boxing ring, 2 microphones for a rap cipher, or you can get your in comedy on that stage. But it's $1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in 4.
Katt recognized the shared experiences they both had as black men and expressed remorse for going after her with such intensity, especially during a time when the country was already divided. During his chat with the host, Katt admitted that it was regrettable for him to try to embarrass Hart while doing his set. He made a genuine apology not just to Kevin Hart, but also to Heartbeat Productions, the Plastic Cup Boys, and anyone connected to Kevin Hart. It seemed like a moment of reflection and an attempt to patch things up during that radio appearance. Fast forward to September 2018, and things got even more interesting in the Hart-Williams showdown. The spotlight shifted to Tiffany Haddish when Williams, during an interview on V1-103's Frank and Wanda in the Morning, started taking jabs at her comedy skills and questioned if she could pull off a major tour. Kevin Hart wasn't one to bite his tongue. While promoting their movie night school on The Breakfast Club, he went to bat for Tiffany Haddish and did not hold back in dissing Williams. Frustrated, Hart called out Williams for blaming Hollywood and the white man, instead of owning up to his own actions when he had a chance to shine. "My frustration with Katt Williams comes from you keep pointing at Hollywood, this the white man, this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot. Katt was in that position at one point. You were the guy. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work you off promo shot. Your promo of trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studio so with you." Hart spilled the beans that studios stopped working with Williams because of drug issues, and he hammered home the point that Williams had the chance to be a star but didn't deliver when it counted. Hart straight up challenged Williams, asking if he ever used his platform to help out those coming up in the game. According to Hart, since Williams hadn't done that, he had no business criticizing those who were making waves in the industry. And guess what? The tension just kept on simmering between these two comedians. It was like a comedy beef that just wouldn't quit. The friction came about yet again 3 years ago in September 2021, and the Hart Williams saga was still going strong. Katt Williams didn't hold back when it came to the possibility of a comedy-style battle against Kevin Hart during an interview with Baltimore radio personality Persan Nicolia, as reported by Evolt. Williams made it clear that he considered it cheating for him. With confidence, Williams boldly claimed that he could outshine Hart in a comedy battle, boasting about his extensive catalog of over 10 comedy specials. He even threw in a cheeky twist, saying he could pluck just 2 jokes from each special.
And I should have never mentioned Kevin Hart's name. That is the reigning king of comedy if you ask for popular consensus. So now, the fact that he's a black man like me and the fact that I attacked him with such vitriol at a time when our country is already divided in every way it could be divided, racially, politically, economically, socially, religiously. Like, the fact that I, while being on stage pretending.
Katt didn't hold back, laying out the challenge options: a full-court basketball game, A boxing match, a WAP cipher with two mix, or the big one, a comedy face-off right on stage with $1 million on the line for each challenge, and he made sure to mention Hart's Forbes earnings and hinted that he'd bring his cash in person. But here's the kicker, he told Hart not to bring any white folks along if he wasn't a puppet, all of this while rocking that signature fur coat of his. Now, just before we wrap it up, let's rewind a bit to when Katt spilled the beans about his arrest in Georgia. He found himself on the ground, ready for his own arrest. According to Katt, a store clerk swiped $1,500 from him, assumed he was up to no good, and even used a racial slur. Katt made it crystal clear he did what he had to do as a self-employed black man, but then just a few days later, it looked like Katt had a change of heart about stirring the pot with Kevin Hart. You see, in March 2016, Katt Williams switched gears during an appearance on V13 Atlanta's The Big Tiger Show. He stepped up and offered an apology to Kevin Hart for the harsh comments he had dished out during his comedy tour stop in Philly.